So looking ahead, how do companies manage an uncertain future?
I think a key capability is being able to adapt a flexible planning and forecasting approach. Who would have planned in 2019 for a global pandemic as part of their plan for 2020? I guess little to no companies have done that. But now looking in future, they might think about different scenarios. Will there be a speedy recovery? Will the pandemic affect their business more longer? Nobody knows really. So it's good to open a few scenarios. And if you have the right processes and technology in place to easily create such scenarios, this gives you much more flexibility in your strategic options. Many companies struggle to even build one plan. You are well advised to improve here, to be able to plan for multiple scenarios and also switch scenarios as you go. So therefore, having good analytic capabilities to work in such a scenario-minded approach, I think is important in order to cope with an uncertain future. So obviously in these uncertain times, businesses are all thinking about how can we better prepare for what's coming. What are your predictions for the future, Peter, in the topic of IT finance and IT management?
Well, Alex, I think there's the before mentioned trends will continue, but I think there will be a number of new trends coming over the years. And one of them is automation. So you will see a lot of automation and also within IT finance. What we see today is that many IT finance teams, organizations, is doing a lot of manual work. They're moving data from one point to another. Processes are being done in a manual way. We need to do that more automated. That's one thing. The next thing is that data sharing across platforms. And I think that finance figures will also follow that trend. So it needs to be available for decision makers in the right platform in their tools. So we will see that as a trend. And the final thing is business becomes digital, meaning that a lot of areas today which are driven by manual work will be replaced by digital solutions. And those digital solutions we need to be able to break down in order to cost them also. So there will be a need to figure that out as a third trend.
So that's a great way to phrase it. Business is digital. Do you have a concrete example, Peter, what this means?
Yeah, well, one of our clients, a bank in the Danish market, they have just reorganized and they no longer have a digital organization. It's the business. They have distributed the complete digital organization into their business areas. So Alex, we've talked a lot about the external parts of impacting companies. In order to get started on the journey of building transparency and building those scenario forecasting you've talked about, how do you practically see that?
Well, it is important for them to build up this clear database and the processes and governance around it to create the transparency we talked about. That's the core step, to really establish a clear steering model for their technology cost in order to understand it, to find optimization potential, and then also to derive the right decisions for future investments. And this is, I would also recommend companies to talk to Deloitte, because they are the leading experts in the field who advise large organizations on how to best build up such a steering model. Once this model is clear, then obviously the next step is to bring this into the right technology. Here is where we from Serviceware can help with our IT financial management solution to establish the right tool set to achieve the goals we talked about. And this is why I'm also very happy that we partnered up with Deloitte to be able to offer the client the full package from the strategy, the steering logic, up to the implementation in the right software tools to be ready to make successful and right digital investment decisions.